The research, assembly, and testing of the first Hong Kong-made satellite, the Hong Kong Star satellite, was successful. It is a hyperspectral remote sensing satellite, and the plan is to send it out to outer space from a launching site in mainland China in late November, not far from now.
首颗港产卫星香港星的研制、组装和测试取得了成功。香港星卫星是一颗高光谱遥感卫星，计划于11月下旬从中国大陆发射场将其发射到外太空。
Dr. Lee George Lam, BBS JP, Co-Chairman and Executive Director of Hong Kong Aerospace Technology Group, will deliver a talk entitled Building Mini Satellites in Hong Kong and the Greater Bay Area.
在香港及大湾区兴建小型卫星，香港航天科技集团联席主席林家礼博士 BBS GP。
Dr. Lee, please.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's really a great pleasure and double homecoming for me. You can see that my picture, I was wearing a 𝗧𝗧𝗏𝗏 logo as well. So anyway, good to be back here, and double homecoming in the sense that when Greg mentioned OASA to me first, I was the first to say, yes, let's do it, and do it at 𝗧𝗏𝗏. And this is where I am. And well, even then, Greg left the board of 𝗧𝗏𝗏 already. And then, we got the whole team working together. Anyway, I think about the topic that the team asked me to share with you, building satellites for Hong Kong and the Greater Bay Area. I have a few things because I know the time limit. 50 minutes, I'd like to say a few things to share with you. First of all, congratulations. Hong Kong need OASA and 𝗧𝗏𝗏 and the universities and so on to work together to build a new ecosystem for space tech and the space economy. First of all, GBA, Hong Kong and GBA. I don't need to say too much about the GBA being the most promising Bay Area on Earth. I think with lots of potential, already predicted that, for example, we will exceed the other Bay Areas, San Francisco, Tokyo, New York City, and so on. But the key is the GBA is the best cluster of smart cities on Earth. And to achieve that, to maintain that edge and to build on it, we need space data. Without space data, we cannot be a real smart city. So space data is a must, and satellites are therefore much needed. If I look into some of the statistics provided by my team, the market demand is huge. For example, the number of satellites required or actually predicted to be on orbit will exceed 100,000 by 2030. But every satellite has a limited lifespan, as some of the speakers already said, between 3 to 7 years. So the demand is far greater than the supply. And this is why we need to do satellite manufacturing, launches, and all of that. And because of a lot of issues with data, particularly space data, we need to do it in Hong Kong as well to serve Greater Bay Area very well. So market demand is one on our side. And then I looked into the other aspects, such as the myth that people normally feel that satellites are mainly for military and national defense purposes. It's not true. Satellites are needed for our smart living, smart finance, smart travel, and everything. So commercial satellites. And the commercial satellite industry is therefore no doubt a do good and do well industry for tomorrow. And tomorrow is now. So it's very clearly that when we look into the other numbers that I like to, or use cases that we already have for commercial satellites, I cite a few. First of all, weather monitoring, intelligent transportation, land and resource monitoring, agriculture and forestry services, green finance, ESG, you need satellite data, and regional surveying and mapping, and also a lot of other stakeholders and supporters are required, including financial institutions, the regulatory agencies, agricultural user, urban planning people, transportation, shipping authorities, and many other government agencies and private companies. The list is long. And then for GBA, we really need to build the capabilities of one-stop shop commercial aerospace services, including manufacturing, testing, launching, and tracking, telemetry, command, satellite data applications as well, in order for us to provide integrated communication, navigation, and remote sensing functionalities for the best cluster of smart cities on Earth. So I think right here, therefore, space data, commercial satellites are much needed in order to enable GBA to be the digital Bay Area and the green Bay Area and the global Bay Area of the world. Right here, space data will be worth the most, because if you provide space data to a non-developed area, it's worthless. But here is gold. Now I'd like to move on to the reason for building satellites for Hong Kong and the Greater Bay Area. If you recall the old auto industry in the US, it actually brought along a host of other industries, including gas stations, body shops, insurance, used car dealers, and so on and so forth, parts and components. The same thing is happening now for aerospace industry. We are bringing along, a supply chain of, various fascinating, innovative components and parts, and we are creating a lot of startups for space economy, space tech, and a lot of very specialized space VC and private equity funds. You name it, we have it, in the future. And I think this is really a transformative industry for Hong Kong. And I like to say that this is also key to the new industrialization of Hong Kong, or reindustrialization of Hong Kong. I serve on the committee for reindustrialization, innovation, technology twice, and the key challenge is how to bring industry back to Hong Kong to enable a more balanced economy and to have more opportunities for our young people. But if we bring back traditional industry, it will be very polluting, and also a lot of limitation as well, including the lack of land, and also the profit margin would not be attractive at all. So aerospace technology is undoubtedly the one shining opportunity that our young people will be attracted to. So I think right here, I'd like to quickly mention about, the other benefits for Hong Kong. If we look into that, first of all, we will have a supply chain, because aerospace technology, particularly commercial satellites, requires a lot of parts and components. And these are perfect opportunities for our SMEs, and startups, and we will build that. And secondly, we can have, we can make use of Hong Kong's talents and develop Hong Kong talents. Our top universities are doing very well, and we have very good innovation technology policy to attract, talents from around the world to work with local talents. We have set up Hong Kong Investment Corporation, which is supposed to provide strategic investment needed for the aerospace tech industry. And our global platform, being under one country, two system is ideal for attracting talents from around the world along with their families to be settled out in Hong Kong. And once they're in Hong Kong, they're also serving the Greater Bay Area. So I think the benefits of Hong Kong is tremendous. We cannot just count on real estate and traditional banking and finance. Right here, I like to say that the opportunity is space tech. So we have been talking about digitech and insurtech, fintech, and all that. Now space tech, and it's great to start with digital because everything in space is digital. You can roughly say that. Of course, space tech includes also material science and, of course, data science, engineering, physics, and robotics, AI, and so on. But I think we do have all the ingredients here to be successful in space tech. My team provided a long list for me, but I like to just cite a few examples. And first of all, I think we can, Hong Kong has all the best universities. We have 5 universities in the top 100 university league table in the world. And we can do a lot in terms of satellite innovative design and integrated assembly and manufacturing, smart manufacturing as well. And the Hong Kong Advanced Manufacturing Center under the Hong Kong Science Park is a very good example of how we build up our cluster along with another one at Cyberport. I think because in going forward, there'll be a lot of interaction between data sciences and also all the rest in terms of promoting and facilitating space tech development. So the future, we see a lot of new application, including, for example, integrated satellite products for communication, navigation, remote sensing, and that is important for the development of the Internet of Things industry. At this juncture, I'd like to move on to mention about the space economy, building on the digital economy and green economy momentum in Hong Kong. Is a new frontier and a critical success factor for the Greater Bay Area. And Cyberport is a right place. People talk about right time, right place, and right people. And also the Chinese saying is that 东风, we have everything. But the right place is Cyberport. The reason is we have a strong digital technology foundation, and space tech needs to build on that. And we have a very strong startups ecosystem, and we need to leverage from that to build another huge cluster, vibrant cluster of space tech and space economy startups for Hong Kong and the Greater Bay Area. And at Cyberport, we are only 15 minutes away from the International Financial Center of Hong Kong, located in Central District. And therefore, we'll have a lot of risk capital and smart money and strategic money for the ecosystem here. I think one thing I hope is that the newly set up Hong Kong Investment Corporation, which is aimed at making strategic investment, will definitely have an allocation to the space tech, space economy, area. And another reason for that is Cyberport is truly global. We have many nationalities here. We have people speaking French, English, and Spanish, and Putonghua and Cantonese everywhere. So this is also a prerequisite for attracting global talents, which is needed for the space economy and space tech infrastructure here. And ESG, Cyberport started ESG right in the middle of the pandemic, and if you do space tech, if you do space economy work, you got to be ESG from day one. You got to be ESG native, because this is space tech for good that we are trying to promote and facilitate. And we have it here at Cyberport. And finally, we have OASA. Congratulations, and I wish you all the best ahead. Quoting Mr. Zhao, who I respect a lot, I think his 8 words, 背靠祖国, 连通世界. This is great. I'd like to add to that with one simple phrase in English, and that is, the sky's the limit. Go for it. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lam.